I've been saying it since the beginning of the pandemic. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is the biggest fraud of a politician this country has seen, okay? For months, we've had to endure his self-aggrandizing monologues where he's deflected, pointed fingers, and lied through his teeth. But friends, his day of reckoning may fast be approaching. As the New York Post calls it, deadly lies. A scathing report from the state's attorney general found the state health department may have undercounted the number of COVID-related nursing home deaths by up to 50%. And here's how King Cuomo had to respond to these findings earlier today.
A third of all deaths in this nation are from nursing homes. New York State, we're only about 28% only, but we're below the national average in number of deaths in nursing homes. But who cares? 33, 28, died in a hospital, died in a nursing home. They died.
They died, but in much larger numbers than we were told, and it certainly looks now like a cover-up. Here is the reported number. We can give you that. It's actually, first let's bring in Joe Borelli. He's a New York City councilman who knows this stuff backwards and forwards, good friend of mine. Joe, I wanted to take a look at this. Here are the stats. 8,952 reported, 12,743 the actual number of COVID-19 deaths in nursing homes. Are we really supposed to believe that this is just an oversight or an accident? It looks like politics to me.
But who cares, Buck, as the governor pointed out, who cares about those extra 4,000 or 5,000 people that were someone's grandmother, someone's grandfather, their uncle, their brother? I mean, this is a guy who really probably had an opportunity in the very beginning to take responsibility for this and say, we made a bad decision, and there was a lot of gray area in the pandemic early on, and he could have really, come out of this on top. He could have taken the blame, as he said we should be blaming him, and we would have moved on. But instead, this is a guy who dug his heels in, just refused to give legislators the data on nursing home deaths they were demanding. I mean, there was a legislator, an actual member of the state legislature, a Democrat, who lost a family member and was basically begging the Cuomo administration to get access to this information that anyone in our elected government should have access to. And they just dismissed the guy. They castigated him. They criticized him. They dismissed a news anchor on another network, a weather lady. They called her the weather lady. They didn't even care. They're just such bad people in the Cuomo administration, and it's refreshing to see Tish James, a Democrat, actually start calling them out for their nonsense.
Now, this is something we pulled together. It is the various positions. It's going to take about a minute, Joe, but we really want you to hear this. The various positions on the nursing home deaths issue that Governor Cuomo has taken. People need to hear this. Play it.
People in nursing homes died, and they attacked me and all the other Democratic governors with that. We've done a full study of it. The virus came into nursing homes from the staff. There was never a directive that said we will send COVID-positive people back to nursing homes. The directive, which was modeled on the federal directive, said you cannot discriminate. One of the things I find reprehensible about it, Willie, is the president did create that impression, which is cruel. It's cruel. It's cruel to say to the families who lost people in nursing homes, well, this could have been prevented by a different government policy. People who lost loved ones in a nursing home, they're dealing with it. And now they also have to deal with the confusion or the pain of maybe government did this. The conspiracy they're trying to spread just has no factual basis. We followed federal guidance on the nursing homes, but we had more people die than any other state. That's a fact. The reason that happened was because we had the virus coming from Europe when the federal government told us the virus was coming from China. In New York, we're number 46 in the nation in terms of percentage of deaths at nursing homes compared to the total percentage. You have 45 other states to point fingers at first.
I can't even keep track, Joe, of it didn't happen, it wasn't our fault, it was the Fed's fault, we just did what we were told, we didn't do what we were told. Which one is it?
I mean, the only thing that was constant about that video clip collection was the governor's tan. I mean, that really is all that was consistent over this course of a year about how he shifted blame, how he tried to, say it was the federal government's order when it was literally in writing. I mean, it was literally in writing with the state health department seal on top of it, where the governor ordered these people back into nursing homes. The problem I think most people have, though, is not just on the statistics, it's on the arrogance. This is a guy who made posters of himself triumphing, his record during the COVID crisis and actually selling them to New Yorkers. This is a guy who wrote a book, trumpeting his achievements in kicking down the rates on COVID throughout New York State. That's why people really have a fundamental distaste for anything he says. Now, when it all comes to light, when the truth gets, the curtain pulled out, and we can see what really happened, people really have a hard time digesting this guy's shtick and his whole attitude about it.
He wrote a book, and we flashed it up there on the screen for a second, American Crisis: Leadership Lessons from the COVID-19 Pandemic. This is like the chief engineer of Chernobyl writing about nuclear safety.
And hopefully Barnes & Noble starts stocking it on the fiction shelf where it belongs at this point. But I mean, it's even worse than that. I mean, part of this book is touting how he shut down restaurants. Imagine someone shutting down your business, then writing a book on how successful he was shutting down your business and lining his own pockets with the profits. I mean, this is really a sick person. Buck, next time you have me on, get the posters he made on the screen. I mean, this is a guy who literally commissioned a poster about his success. And he talked about in this poster his girlfriend, his daughter's boyfriends, and his family life and driving hot rod cars. It's a sickness, Buck. It's a sickness.
We have to ask about, I know for a lot of the country, they're already past this. Florida's open. Florida's up $300 million in revenue, Joe. DeSantis just said that today. Up year to year, $300 million in tax revenue in that state for last year. Meanwhile, here in New York, we still have indoor dining in New York City shut down. Cuomo tweeted this, updated indoor dining. If the positivity rates hold, we'll reopen indoor dining at 25% capacity on Valentine's Day, February 14th. In addition to reduced capacity, mandatory safety guidelines will be in place. Well, we got 3 more weeks here to see what restaurants can actually hold on. And even then, they're at 25% capacity. This just seems like...
Well, I don't think it's a coincidence that he chose the day that news broke about his disastrous nursing home policy to announce that we're going to reopen dining more than 2 weeks ahead of the day. I mean, I think people should also ask, why wait until Valentine's Day, February 14th? Why not have it February 13th, a Saturday, February 12th, a Friday? So that even if you want to open that weekend, some of these restaurants can still have some patrons in what normally is one of the busiest weekends they ever have. This 25%, number one, it's less than other parts of the state that are open at 50% with much higher positivity rates. So it really makes no sense from that standpoint. But why not actually, if you're going to open the restaurants, give the restaurants the opportunity to actually make a profit and stay afloat? This is all of it is to basically, draw people's eyes away from the nursing home report.
Joe Borelli, New York City Councilman. Joe, hold down the fort, my friend. Good to see you.